Hey guys, it's Alex. I'm here to do a VOD review of our first game against SFU. I probably won't be going over too many specific details. Hopefully not, since I already went over a lot of details with you guys about any specific mechanics in the game, in the game. So yeah, I'll be just basically going over my notes in the Discord. Alright, so first thing, let's talk about the level 1. So let's just speed it up and see what happens. So they group up. Alex takes a route through the jungle. They are in this bush, they see Alex catching him. Okay, so let's just break that down real quickly. So the so he- so the issue was that our early start was actually ideally when we're grouping up in level 1, we want to do something together. So either we want to group up to get vision, or if we're not grouping up, ideally we want to stick to a standard sort of 5-point start. Alright, so as we can see, we have teammates walking down here right now. So right now, this really isn't very efficient because you can cover this area of vision with essentially only 2 champions, so you don't really need like that many people here. And also, but let's just bypass that for now. So Alex, when you see a bunch of your teammates down here, it doesn't really happen often, but you really should be careful when you're walking in your own topside jungle because something like that could happen. But also notice the route you take. So Alex, you took a really long route out of the base. So instead of just going from base directly here and then pathing into your tri-bush, you kind of did this V shape. Like you pathed downwards and then you pathed upwards. And that basically gave them enough opening to sneak in and get a kill on you. So ideally in the future, what would probably be better is if we actually did either a full 5-point start. So we'd have Alex here, Dylan could be watching, maybe Dylan or Phoenix could be watching around here, and then we have one person here, and then we have our bottom lane around here. So ideally that's what we want to do in the future, but in case this sort of thing happens again, like if we end up having people group up bottom lane, Alex, what you should do is you should play really cautiously. So one thing I'll draw let's look at what Lucian's doing while you're dying. Like look at Lucian here. While everybody else is topside, he knows to play safe. Look how far back he's playing. He's not even walking up to his tier 1 tower. He's not even walking into any of his jungle bushes. He's just standing there. So Alex, when your team isn't around, that generally speaking, and if you're ever late to lane or something, let's say for instance, if you ever take a bad path, you should generally try to play safe. Now I'm not asking you to play this safe every single time because it's generally this sort of early invade is not really common. Because honestly, I don't think. Let me see what they got out of that real quickly. The fact that it didn't blow your flash means that, and the fact that the kill went to the top laner means that I don't think they got much out of that. So I don't expect this to happen very often, but just think about your level 1 more carefully next time. So basically the takeaway is to either play safe, assume a safer position when you're walking into lanes. So instead of doing a weird route through the jungle, you walk directly top and you sit in this bush. The alternative is if your team is grouping up here trying to make a play, or if you're trying to like set up a late ward, like a ward in the jungle or something, then you play far back over here to ensure that you're not going to get caught. And the one final thing I'll mention, let's jump back a little. So the moment Alex died, you three should be immediately pathing into this jungle and putting wards down. You guys ended up doing that a little bit later, but there's no reason you guys shouldn't be doing it like right this second. So let me just see what happens here real quickly. Yeah, so you guys walked in a little bit later, but honestly, like, you guys should have walked in. You guys probably, it would have been a lot better for you guys to walk in earlier to drop a ward, cause like if you walk in that late, there's a really good chance that the enemy might have already respawned and they'll be positioned around here. So you just really gotta watch out. So like, generally speaking, to kind of avoid any sort of risk of the enemy popping out or the enemy being here by the time you place that ward, do try to do it as soon as possible. So as soon as you see them top lane, you make a play bottom lane and you try to get some deep wards in. Alright. So let me just jump to the next point. So overall, I remember the early game in general did go super well. So I just want to check mid lane actually. Since I did, so in my notes I mentioned, because you guys Galio started W, mid lane he should be punished really hard for that. Let me just see if that actually, let me see. Okay, so these are just kind of minor things, I guess. Well, let me just backtrack here. So for instance, like right here, instead of walking back Phoenix, what you could do is you could have actually like remained at your position, like held your ground here, because like his minion's gonna die before your minion, or it's very likely his minion's gonna die before your minion. So like if you posture more aggressively, like right here, for instance, there's a chance you could deny the EXP. You could deny the EXP of that minion, potentially. And also the fact that at the time, if the next wave wasn't going to arrive, the other wave was still around here, so you weren't going to risk any minion aggro. That's just a small thing I just want to briefly mention. Yeah, and generally I think Phoenix could have played a lot more aggressively in the level 1 to really punish Galio's use of flash and his use of and his W start there, but since you don't really like playing Aatrox, and since you haven't played many rank games with Aatrox with him, then I'll give it a pass. But those are just some minor things I noticed. Alright. So, and then some other small things I'll just try to I mentioned in my notes. Which is kind of another small thing. So let's just look at this trade here. So Phoenix, had you flashed here and autoed him, flash autoed and ignited him, you definitely could have killed him right there. I know you might have been fearing the jungler, but at this moment, even if Kha'Zix comes and kills you, you'd still be in a relatively. I don't think you'd be in a too much of a disadvantaged spot. So first of all, you have really good ward coverage here. Second of all, the wave is actually kind of pushing like towards you. So I'm sure you know what that means, right? By the time even if you die, if you respawn, when you come back, there's gonna be a big wave outside your tower. So again, I'd attribute this to not enough experience on the champion, but this is just something I'll mention since you definitely could have killed him at this moment. But overall, though, what I see, I do like the river vision coverage we have so far. So next point, let's just jump ahead. So this is our 2v2 kill. That's really awesome. Really well played. And yeah, around this moment when your vision was really solid. So you just had a ward hit. You had a ward hit that just died, but like this line of river vision. Oh, I guess it just died. But I guess I guess that noted. I wrote that note a little earlier. But essentially, yeah, you guys held pretty solid vision in the river, and that was pretty nice. Just lives here, which is good. And yeah, so most of the early game was actually pretty clean. Really not much to say. So there's another play here that was really well made. Okay, I just wanted to quickly mention. So Alex, you see that? You see what Urgot did? That's what you should be doing on Urgot, like with your ultis at least. Let's just watch it real quick. So first of all, the E flash is a mechanic I'm not sure if you're aware of, but that's a really good setup for a gank. But look what he does. He flips you, hits you a few times, and then he ults you. Like this is when you should be ulting as well. Like you should be ulting when the enemy is close to you and easy to hit. Because like if you ulti because like every time you ulti, they'd be like running away, and you'd be doing it as an execute, and you'd be completely like and like the fact that it offers a slow is completely meaningless at that point. So you should be ulting early, like as soon as you land a flip, and ideally after you land a Q as well. So they're slowed, and once they're slowed, you can start wailing away on them and chunking them out. But overall, though, I really like this collapse here. I don't think I still Galio here. But yeah, it was a really good collapse using mid priority. I like it very much. And then I believe, and right now I like the vision setup as well. So more shenanigans happening around. But I believe right now you guys have, yeah. So, well, what I really like about the map state right now is that you guys have 4 pinks on the map. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Though this pink might have been better if it was put here instead of here. Not gonna complain though. I mean, having the pink out there is still really good. So, yeah, I liked having all these pinks out. It's really good. You always want to keep as many pinks as you can in your jungle. I mean, out on the map. Alright, I think the next, yeah, that was my point. And then also Phoenix. So I know you're not playing Aatrox much anymore, but in the future, when if you do play Aatrox, like in a solo queue game, or if I ask you to flex in mid at some point, do keep in mind that on Aatrox generally you want to go for CDR. You want to get as much CDR as possible early on. So like the thing about the building lethality is does let you do more damage, but it also makes you really squishy considering how close you have to be to do damage, and how big of a target you are. It's generally better to get some health and as well as some CDR. So what I think you probably should have built first is instead of full Yomos, had you went for a Kindle gem into a Black Cleaver along with the Caulfield's Warhammer, that probably would have been a lot more effective this game. So that's another minor point about like individual players and stuff. So we just so you guys are gonna have a 2K balloon. So over the next few minutes, you guys played the map pretty solid. There you guys got a dragon. Confident surviving gank, which is really nice. Really good counter gank there. So look how far ahead you guys are. So yeah, just so far you guys essentially have three winning lanes. So the lanes are playing out as they should be. That's really good. You had a lot of wards to counteract Kaiser, so he wasn't able to get that much done in the game. Also really good. So yeah, and then if we drag it over to around. So at this point, you guys have managed to accrue a 3K gold lead, which is pretty damn solid for 14 minutes. But then there's this really bad fight. Then let's just go over the really bad fight again. I talked it with you guys after the game, but I think I should go over it again with you, like with the replay in hand. All right. So the fight starts off with Brayson getting caught. Let me turn on red vision actually. So here's what we see. We see three of their members collapsing onto two of ours. So right away, our call should be to just back off. We can't fight this. Graves is way too far. Cassio's way too far. And Urgot's MIA. So ideally, we should definitely be playing far back. Okay, so at this point, I would say the enemy team is somewhat overcommitting now. So now it's up to us to make a decision. Whether we need to decide whether or not just to let Brayson die, or whether or not we want to collapse on this. So at this point, Alex has TP. So if we make the call to collapse, Alex needs to TP immediately. If the call is to just back off, then everybody should just, back off. Phoenix should just walk back to mid. Dylan, also get away, and then Ryan should just walk back bottom lane. Let's see what happens. Okay. So here Phoenix makes a call to Phoenix decides to engage. Solo actually, so that engage was a little bit questionable. Since I believe there Cassio wasn't in position yet, and Graves was actually backing off. And then that was kind of an unfortunate situation there. Yeah, everybody is kind of up here. It's really good kill on the Cosmics, but you guys still end up losing that fight. So yeah, the main issue in that fight seems to have been indecisiveness. Like you guys didn't seem to be entirely on the same page. So yeah, like wait, let me just back off a little more. So like Dylan's here is about ready to back off, while Phoenix is saying like let's go in. So that's definitely seems like a miscommunication right there. And in addition, like I said earlier, if you guys are gonna turn, Alex should have TP'd immediately. Like even like I think the ideal time to like you guys probably could have re-engaged while like they were all here and Brayson was dying around here. That would have been probably the perfect time to TP, and you guys could orchestrate like a re-engage. But I know you guys don't have access to like everything. It's in the game. You have to make like you have to make a lot of decisions very quickly. So I don't blame you guys for not TPing there. But at this point though, if you guys are going for a re-engage, especially considering you guys are 3v4, you guys definitely should have called for the TP. And then also, like, I feel like it wasn't, and like I said, doesn't seem communicated properly because, first of all, Ryan is really far away. Dylan seems to be backing off, and the only one going in is Phoenix. So yeah. And then as you can see with Phoenix getting chunked so early in the fight, that kind of forced like Ryan to tank a lot of damage from the culling, and that put him in kill range of the Kazakhs. And what also happened was Graves was also zoned on this side of the fight because Phoenix died so quick. Not died so quickly, but because Phoenix got put into passive so quickly. Fuck, not passive, that's Elatrox. Put into his ultimate revive so quickly. So I guess the main takeaway from this is that again, you guys have to practice being more decisive in these sort of situations, and realize just because you're ahead doesn't mean you can go full retard and just like make overconfident plays. Like you guys can't just be that. They'll always have a chance to come back if you guys fuck up no matter what, how far ahead you guys are. So always keep in mind, think about what to do next. Don't just go in blindly. Keep communication up as much as you can, no matter how far ahead you are. And this was actually the start of a series of unfortunate events. So yeah, look how much they got off that. They got a tower off this. And do they get dragon later on? Oh, this is another bad fight. Let's look over the bad fight here then. Actually, I don't really have many notes on this, other than just a bunch of bad fights. But let's see. Okay, so this is the next really bad move that basically gave over a dragon. So let's see what's going on. Let's just turn on red vision for now. here's what we see. So at this point we see Phoenix is walking topside, while Alex and Urgot are getting into a fight. So what that means is that bot lane should be playing safe at this point, because even if bot lane gets into a fight, there's a very big chance Galio can come down, and they'll make it either a 3v3 or a 3v4. Either of those wouldn't be exactly a good idea right now, especially considering how much AoE they have with, you know, with Galio Lucian. So let's just see what happens first. Yeah, so first of all, like, really split focus here. Braves was doing dragon, Dylan was doing dragon here. So like, this definitely seemed like a miscommunication between the bottom lane and Dylan. But more importantly, you guys have to recognize that you're speaking to you two in general. You guys have to recognize that you have someone doing dragon, teammates doing sneaking dragon, and your mid laner is topside, right? You guys are making plays on other parts of the map. So why are you guys also trying to do something? Like, the enemy's not retarded. They're not gonna just let you get everything, right? Like, they're gonna, if you guys make a play, they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna try to make a counter play on you. It's like I mentioned this before. Like, whenever something happens on one side of the map, you try to make pressure on the other side of the map. You guys can do that, but the enemy team can also do that. So what happens is here, yeah, they pick you guys off, and that actually cucks Dylan as well. Now you can't sneak the dragon anymore, and then they end up getting it. Let's see what could have happened differently. What could have been done differently. So they were hiding in this bush. So honestly, I think the best thing you guys could have done is just help do the dragon. Like, look at the lane. You guys have total lane priority here. The lane is pushing into us. So like, with all the space you guys have, it's literally the perfect time to do dragon. You guys even have 2 pinks around this area. You know they have no vision here. So why not just go for the dragon then? Let me see if there's an alternative. Yeah, I think the best move definitely should have been to do dragon, because they had no idea you guys were doing dragon. Like, I'm not saying you guys should have expected Kha'Zix and Braum to be in this bush, but you guys should expect them to be somewhere around bot side after Aatrox is spotted top side. Or you guys have to expect the fact that they could make a counterplay on you guys, and you guys would be at a numbers disadvantage because Aatrox isn't there. Okay? So the main takeaway again is really fuck this, that's annoying. I'll just put the camera away. The main takeaway from this point, I guess, is kind of a point I mentioned before. If your team's making a play on your other side of the map, or if your team is trying to do something somewhere else, you don't have to like also do something. You have to like accept that, okay, my team's pressuring another part of the map. That means they might try to pressure us. So we have to, in that case, we're gonna have to play a little safe. Anyways, look at the gold gap, by the way. Like, literally 2 minutes ago it was like 3,000. But with these 2 plays, suddenly now it's nearly on gold parity now. And yeah. And with their pressure, I think they're gonna get this tower. Yeah. So like so the kill on the Kazakhs was nice. That brought us some gold, but now like so off the first really shitty play, they got a tower. Off the second shitty play, they got a dragon and a tower. And now the gold is like less than 1,000 apart. Or had the kill on the Kazakhs not have happened, we'd basically be at gold parity at this point. Mistook, so a little bit unfortunate. And yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward through this section because there's several other bad plays around this. Okay, so here Kazakh is spotted topside. So I think Alex dies here. So like, and this is when you should be saying, okay, so they made a play top lane. We need to do something around bottom side right now. So let's just kind of see what happens. So Phoenix walks top. So I'm not sure what the point of that was. That yeah, I'm really not sure. It really seemed like you were trying to like you're like it was like a delayed response to Alex. It's like Alex is like I'm getting ganked and you're like okay, I'll come top. It seems to me like that. I'm not sure. But this was really inefficient. Like, you know they're topside. You know there's nothing you can do. So, like, why go topside? Like, the right play, when Alex dies, when topside dies, is try to get pressure bot side. Because now you see both of them on the tower. That means we can force a numbers advantage in the jungle right here. We can do something here. So, I like what Dylan does here, so... I like what Dylan does. Because they have a Galio, diving here would be a really, really bad idea. But, what I believe what I think you guys should do is follow Dylan's example. And you guys should invade the jungle, get some vision down, etc., etc., etc. Like, vision is probably the biggest thing you guys can get out of this. And then here it just kind of seems like a bit of a miscommunication. This is where yeah, like this shouldn't have happened. Like I think I already mentioned this to you, but we have lane priority. So and their jungler is topside, so there's absolutely no reason their bot lane should be killing our jungler when we have lane priority. And also, Dylan, at this point, you had a pink ward in your inventory, so you definitely could have like if you were able to put a pink here, that would have been a really really good for us, since that could have like that's just really good info to I mean a really good ward placement to keep track of their jungler. But otherwise, that was another really sloppy play. So essentially, now that they backed off top, we essentially got nothing out of that. In fact, we actually gave over a kill. Like we barely got any vision in their bot side. I think here we're gonna, I don't know if we get this high or not. So we end up getting this tower only because they were pressuring mid. And we saw Braum on this ward right here. But from the play they made top lane, our response didn't get anything out of it. Like we didn't get any vision. We got a red buff, which eventually was taken back by them in addition to a kill. So yeah. So notice at this point they're ahead in gold now. Like with the kill top on the tower, they're ahead in gold. So in general, in the span of 3 minutes, three 3 bad plays allow them to like get a bunch of kills, some towers, and bring the gold from being 3k down to now being like 600 up. So this is kind of what throwing looks like from the perspective of a spectator. Like we're 3k up, but you decided to take really confident or really bad fights, and then now we're even in gold. So this move so what I see from Dylan here, this is really good. I'm not sure if you guys do this enough. I haven't been able to I don't know if I don't think I've seen you guys do this enough, or maybe I just haven't paid attention to that. But do this often. Like when you're walking back, when you're walking back from base onto the map, always try to scout out your jungle for any potential wards. Like in this case where you guys have lost a lot of vision control topside, it wouldn't be a bad idea to drop a pink maybe here and here, because you've guys lost control of top and mid. So yeah, it would be a pretty good. It wouldn't be a bad idea to get pinks in your jungle and do the Christmas tree that Kyle said. But yeah, so now your primary objective should be to reestablish your vision. So again, control vision in your own jungle and try to branch your vision out. Because at this point, the game has essentially stalemated. It's kind of a stalemate at this point because you guys are both even. You guys are both even on gold, and you guys both have and your win condition is to 1-3-1. So, but in order to 1-3-1, you need to reestablish vision. So I think next, not much really happens over the next minute or two. Let's turn my vision up. So this is Cosmic's pick doing something stupid, giving you guys a free kill, I think. So again, you guys have the chase here. Not much to really say about that. Got a little aggro there. And then yeah, the stuff like this starts happening where you guys just get picked off randomly. So, yeah, one pick might not seem like much, but when you combine all the picks together, that's when it gets really, really bad. So, this will probably keep happening, and I'll just keep mentioning it. But stay when you're behind like this, and if you're ever trying to get vision or pressure, stay grouped together. Stay together. Don't try to make any solo plays, especially you, Brayson. Don't try to go for solo plays. Don't try to clear wards in their jungle or some shit. Yeah, just don't do that. But in general, not much really happens. But you can see with this map control they have and the picks they're able to get, we're slowly bleeding gold. Now they have a 1k advantage. So here, a little fight. Yeah, so not much happens there. You guys almost got some kills, but yeah, they're relatively strong now. But the next fight is where things got really, really bad. So let's just see what happens. Yeah, I marked it to be around 22 minutes. Okay, so look what happens here. Here, let me turn on our vision. So here, Ryan gets caught and dies. So where are we right now? So we're trying to burst down the dragon, I think. So we tried to go for a kill to the drop, and then we ended up getting the kill. And this ultimately actually gave them bear. Okay, so I think we talked this over as well and understand your thought process. So what I believe what you guys were telling me is that Kazakhs killed Ryan, and you guys thought, okay, let's try to kill the dragon. But look at the map right now. We see a Braum here, and we also see like Lucian mid. But what about the others? Like, where's Galio? Where's Urgot? We don't know. Like, we don't know where they are. So they could. So as you can see, what ends up happening, Galio ends up joining the fight, and then Urgot ends up also joining from down here. And that ends up kind of fucking you guys over pretty hard. So again, that definitely seems like you guys weren't thinking right. You guys weren't taking into account where Galio and Urgot might be. So that basically cost you guys the Baron right there. What the right play to make there? Let's just jump back. So let's see. So here Ryan gets caught. This is just kind of unfortunate. They had vision here. But knowing they have a Galio, you guys should not have gone for this at all. Like, you guys definitely should not have gone for this. Even the dragon would have. I think you guys turn on him because you saw him approach the dragon. But the moment you see him, you have to respect that Kha'Zix is really fast. Urgot has TP. Galio has ultimate. We're down a person. Like, you have to think about those things and realize we can't fight. So if you guys just backed off here and gave him the dragon, you guys would have been in a much better spot than you guys would have. But anyways, essentially, I think we got a top tower here, which is pretty good. But they end up getting Baron. And this is kind of when the game really just goes wide open. So again, now the game's really getting difficult. Now they have a solid advantage now. But I think Brayson is here. Again, when you're going up, when you're warding, it's really imperative that you ward as a team. You have to Vision is a team process. Oh, really? By the way. But yeah, Vision is a team game, right? You can't just do things on your own. You have to do it together, especially considering you guys are behind at this point. So your goal right now, just like before, is basically you want to reestablish Vision in your own jungle, and then using that Vision, once their Baron wears off, begin to push the map back into your own favor. Okay? So the key is everything starts with Vision. It all starts with reestablishing Vision. That's like the key thing. So right now, like, oops. So what you just did right there, was try to sweep them. Again, that is a really risky play. Even though you weren't punished for that, you really should not be doing that. Like, like I mentioned earlier, warding is a team game. Whenever you're going for a vision play, you need to ask for teammates. For instance, if you let's say you wanna like sweep this area, maybe back a little bit. Let's say you wanna sweep this area, right? Especially you saw Lucian right here. Like this is incredibly risky to be over here. So what you should be what you ideally want to do is you should be saying, "Yo, I need backup. Can someone help? Can someone walk with me while I clear some vision?" So ideally, you ideally want to call your balling over to come with you as well. I guess you see some like maybe feel a little bit of safe. You kind of feel safe because they're like you have these two wards here, but again, you don't really have vision through this path, and most importantly, you don't have vision through this path. So really, like, you just want at this point since you're behind, just play it safe. Ask for teammates to help you with vision. So ask for like Ryan or Brayson or both of them to come with you to go on a ward clearing mission. But thankfully, at least in this case, you were not punished, so it's all good. So let's just keep watching and see what happens. Sorry, give me a sec. I need to cut the recording for a little bit. Sorry about that. Back now. Okay. So yeah, look how risky that is. You almost got caught out by these two. So yeah, really, you need so bottom line, you need teammates when you ward. So overall, so now it's just kind of becoming like a turtle at this point. So you guys seem to have made some efforts to get vision, but I didn't. So like what you guys ideally should do is group up and get vision, because without vision, they're able to do stuff like this where they can just literally dive you guys behind the tower. So from now onwards, I'm probably gonna cut off the review soon, because from now onwards, nothing much is really gonna happen. It's just gonna essentially be a long ass base defense. Alex did miss his highlight first though, which is really nice. But in terms of team macro, I don't see much. And that's just really unlucky. Yeah, there's not much to say about these sort of plays and stuff, and the earlier plays like catching an Urgot and then Phoenix getting caught here. It's just kind of like general sloppiness or lack of awareness. So at this point, I would say the game is basically over. Mainly because of how strong their team fighting is and how we were relying on 1-3-1 to win. And because their inhibs are now basically broken, the game is basically lost at this point unless we can get some miracle team fight. Or not miracle team fight, we need to get several miracle team fights. So Alex did get some really good highlight plays, let's check them out. So this this is a really good turnaround for you guys to make. So here basically got a really good catch. Oh, Alex got not Alex, Brian got a really good set. And then pretty sick. And yeah, so those are a lot of highlight plays by a lot of you guys here. That was pretty well executed. Yeah, unfortunately though, at this point, because you guys like really lacked vision, you guys weren't able to like fully establish vision in this area. You guys essentially had to give up Baron control. Also, just because of how stronger their team fighting is, you guys had to give it up, anyways. So, anyways, a lot of other shenanigans, a lot of other kills happened. And maybe let's just talk about the last Baron real quickly. Since Dylan, I think we disagreed a bit on what the ideal thing to do there was. So maybe I'll have another look at the Baron and I'll see how I can Let's have all vision on. So right now they just took Elder. We have all three inhibs open. And now they have full control of our jungle. So right now they see Aatrox bottom lane. We're not gonna make it to Baron in time. Well, I mean, he's not gonna make it to Baron in time. So let's just see what happens. So at this point they've essentially started Baron. So actually, let's just watch everything first, just from your perspective. So we have essentially no vision right now. You see them popping out here, guarding. Funny enough, so this is just kind of, so I guess this entire like debate whether or not the Baron should have happened or not, it's like a pretty minor point, because at this point the game is basically over for you guys. You guys are basically lost here unless you can pull off some miracle fight while they have both Baron and Elder. But from what I saw, I'd stand by what I said. And I think you guys should have just had either have not contested it at all, or you guys should have just had Dylan go on a solo mission. Maybe Brayson, you could walk with him up to here to help him get wards. So Dylan, you could maybe jump over and you try to steal it. And with Baron, there is definitely a chance you could fend them off, like 5v4, maybe 5v4 with the Baron minions without having to like go for a full fight. But the decision you guys made was not the ideal one. So like I said, I think the two decisions that are equally like ideal, at least in this situation, is to either just everybody like push the waves out as far as you can, control the waves, and then try to win a fight at the tower, like a full 5v5 fight at your tower. That's option one. Option two is to just have like maybe Brayson accompany Dylan, clear some wards, and have Dylan try to like steal, and then like if he manages to steal it, you guys can go for a 4v5 fight and not fight, I mean defense, and maybe hold on. But you guys did neither of those. Instead, you guys just kind of fought. I understand where you guys are definitely coming from though, because you guys decided you had to do a last stand. But if you guys are gonna fight them, like again, so this isn't really about like whether or not you guys should have done the Baron, but like for the call itself, you guys like again, kind of a split focus. Like Dylan's going for the Baron, while you guys are trying to here get kills. And actually, I'm inclined to agree with what Kyle said as well. Like Kyle mentioned, we could just pick these two guys off instead. And after seeing what happened, after seeing this, I would definitely agree. Like Dylan, if you instead of popping over to the Baron pit, if instead you decided to, actually I don't know if it was Kyle or Victor, one of you two. But instead of popping over to steal Baron, which is unlikely, if you actually stayed grouped up with your team and tried and killed these two guys, I think that would have bought enough time for you guys to stall out the game. But otherwise, you know, these are like really intense moments where you have to make split-second decisions. So I don't blame you guys for making this decision. But yeah, this is just an example of something that could possibly have been done better. And then you guys didn't really actually lose off that, but eventually though. Eventually you guys managed to push out. Yeah, I think at this point you guys, so here you kind of managed to stall long enough to, for some champions to come online. So now you've actually managed to like get all your inhibs back. But then let's just see what happens here. Oh, so here Alex kind of got picked off to the side. I'm kind of like into like here and then. So in general, what I've noted is that you guys should be fairly apprehensive about pushing up this far. Like just considering, oh, right now when you see Urgot, now might be a chance for you guys to like. Right. Okay, so at this point, I think you guys walking up here was definitely the primary mistake here. You guys don't win a full-on 5v5 team fight unless you manage to get a pick. Unless you manage to land your ults perfectly, I don't think you guys can win a 5v5 team fight. Simply because they have like a Galio and Braum for from a really easy AoE. So the right call to here probably would have been just to back off. But other than that though, not really much else to say. Again, that also seemed a little bit indecisive, is because you kind of had people here kind of like a little apprehensive about going in or backing off, while you had like two people here aggressively pushing forward onto the Urgot. So yeah, that does it for the review I did today. Review for today. The main takeaways for today is when you're ahead, don't make stupid plays. Always assume the enemy can come back no matter what. Just imagine yourself fighting like SKT back in like 2015, 2016. No matter how behind they are, they'll always have a chance to come back. Okay? So that's the first thing. Don't get complacent. Always stay focused. Don't make any like BM plays and shit. Um, and also try to when it comes to the late game, when everybody's grouped up, like I mentioned this before, listen to the primary shot caller, whoever's like making the call. You all really have to be decisive in these sort of situations. So, for instance, here, let's say Phoenix was calling. Let's go on the. Well, I think we can go on the Urgoth. In that case, everybody should have followed, even if that was not the right play to make. I would have rather seen decisive wrong play rather than you know, being unsure and then just getting picked off. So when you get to the late game in this sort of situation, decisiveness is the key. All right. I think the other points I've mentioned many times in like post game reviews and stuff. So yeah. But that is about it. All I have to say for today. I think so. Victor will also be doing a VOD review. I think that will hopefully be coming soon. I don't know. I'll probably have to send him the VODs if he doesn't have them. But otherwise, let me know if you have any questions or comments about anything, and I'll see you guys later.